The failure of atheism, why it can't replace faith. Atheism, once heralded by its proponents as the ultimate liberation from the shackles of religion, has struggled to fulfill its promises. As someone who has spent time examining the philosophical and practical implications of atheism, I find it increasingly clear that atheism has failed to provide a compelling or comprehensive framework for understanding the world and addressing the deep human needs that religion has historically fulfilled. The lack of a clear message. One of atheism's most glaring shortcomings is its inability to present a coherent and unifying message. While scientific atheists often champion reason and evidence, they fall into the trap of demanding a kind of blind faith in their perspective. They ask us to trust in science as the sole arbiter of truth while simultaneously ignoring the metaphysical questions science cannot address. In this sense, atheism's critique of religious faith becomes self-defeating. If atheism claims to replace religion, it must offer not just critiques, but a meaningful alternative, and on this front, it has failed. Atheists like Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris have often reduced complex questions of existence to simplistic answers rooted in materialism. This reductionism does little to inspire or comfort people grappling with the weightier issues of life. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What happens when I die? Religion has long provided answers, imperfect as they may be. Atheism, by contrast, leaves only a cold silence. Underestimating human needs. The new atheist movement also underestimated the depth of human need for meaning, community, and a way to cope with life's challenges. Humans are not just rational creatures. We are emotional and spiritual beings. Religion has offered rituals, traditions, and stories that connect us to something greater than ourselves. Atheism, however, strips life of transcendence, leaving individuals to independently navigate the chaos of existence. Christopher Hitchens, for example, was a brilliant orator, but his biting critiques of religion never grappled seriously with the emotional and existential void that atheism leaves behind. Without a larger narrative or shared moral framework, atheism fosters a sense of isolation and nihilism. Is it any wonder that some of the most prominent atheist thinkers have eventually softened their positions or even embraced faith later in life? Philosophical weaknesses. Philosophically, atheism is riddled with inconsistencies. For example, the logical argument from evil and the evidential argument from evil have been used to attack the existence of a benevolent God. Still, these arguments often ignore the nuances of theology. Christianity, for instance, provides a robust framework for understanding suffering and evil through the lens of free will, human fallibility, and redemption. Similarly, the argument from non-belief, which claims that a loving God would make his existence universally known, ignores the role of faith and the value of seeking truth. Faith is not forced upon us. It is an invitation. Atheism, by contrast, insists on a universe stripped of any divine invitation, offering only the bleak assurance of a materialist worldview. The inability to explain belief in God. Another significant failure of atheism is its inability to explain why so many people believe in God and why so many former atheists have become Christians. If religion is merely a delusion, as Dawkins would argue, why does belief in God persist across cultures and centuries? Why do even some of the most skeptical minds find themselves drawn to faith in moments of crisis or profound reflection? Atheists often attribute belief to ignorance or social conditioning, but these explanations fall short. They cannot account for the countless stories of intellectuals, scientists, and philosophers who have found faith reasonable and transformative. Former atheists like C.S. Lewis famously described their conversion to Christianity not as a surrender of reason, but as an awakening to a deeper reality. The moral vacuum. Perhaps the most significant failure of atheism is its inability to provide a moral ideal. Without God, questions like, "How should I live?" or "What is good?" become matters of personal preference or societal consensus. But history has shown that such foundations are shaky at best. Societies grounded in atheistic ideologies, such as those under Stalin or Mao, have often devolved into moral chaos, where might make right, and the value of human life is diminished. Religion offers a transcendent moral framework rooted in God's character. The Ten Commandments, Jesus' teachings, and other scriptural principles provide a blueprint for living a good and meaningful life. Atheism, on the other hand, struggles to move beyond subjective moral relativism, leaving individuals and societies without a clear moral compass. The end of New Atheism. The New Atheist movement, which gained momentum in the mid-2000s, has largely fizzled out. While its leading figures, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and Christopher Hitchens, captivated audiences with their sharp critiques of religion, their message ultimately lacked staying power. It is not enough to tear something down. One must also build something up. Atheism has failed to construct a worldview capable of replacing the rich tapestry of meaning, purpose, and hope offered by faith. Conclusion. Atheism promised liberation, clarity, and enlightenment, but has delivered little more than intellectual posturing and existential despair. It lacks a clear message, underestimates human needs, falters philosophically, fails to explain belief in God, and offers no moral ideal. In contrast, faith in God provides a coherent and compelling framework for understanding the world, addressing life's challenges, and finding ultimate meaning. For me, the failure of atheism underscores the enduring truth of Christianity. In Christ, we find answers to life's deepest questions and the love, hope, and purpose that our hearts long for.